Once in a while, things sneak up on you. Sometimes it's a bad kind of sneaky, like forgetting an anniversary date. Occasionally, however, you get a pleasant surprise that just makes your day. That was exactly the case for me when I started playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE for the first time. At least I think it's Sharp FE, not hashtag FE, right? Admittedly, the game was totally outside of my radar. As someone who loves eccentric Japanese games, being caught unawares by the arrival of my Tokyo Mirage Sessions review copy felt like a huge oversight on my part. How could I possibly not know about a game that was a veritable combination of various properties and mechanics that I loved? Then again, good surprises work best when you have no idea they're coming. It's like buying a normal-looking melon bread from a Japanese bakery and realizing that it has delicious gooey melon filling inside. For you who don't know, Japanese melon bread usually only looks like melon but does not taste like one. Yum. For those who are unfamiliar with this title like I was, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a role-playing game that details the lives of a group of young Japanese idols or entertainers, as they fight enemy invasions from a different dimension while surrounded by a cheering virtual audience. Yes, I know that doesn't sound like the best of game ideas. In fact, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for the meeting when the idea was first proposed. Just like celery and peanut butter though, the seemingly strange combination surprisingly works. At the center of the action is protagonist Itsuki Aoi, a high schooler who gains the powers of a spirit-fusing Mirage Master while coming to the aid of childhood friend Tsubasa Oribe during an enemy attack. As someone who has seen his fair share of anime with dense male leads and their love-struck Osama Najumi, that certainly sounds like a mishmash of anime tropes. Despite that, however, the game itself still works well overall. A large part of it is the well-executed fusion of ideas from multiple properties such as Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, and Fire Emblem. I know from personal experience that crossovers can easily be a hot, mishmashed mess. Tokyo Mirage Sessions avoids that by putting in noticeable effort to craft something good instead of just banking on nostalgia and mailing it in. The effort is especially obvious in the game's production values. Visuals are wonderfully polished, featuring impressive settings such as the Bloom Garden, or urban areas like Shibuya and Harajuku. Character models are also well designed, with more fantastical renditions of Mirage fusions, or the game's creatively designed monsters and bosses standing out in particular. Granted, some of the dungeon areas can look plain, but from an overall graphical perspective, it's undoubtedly one of the better looking games on the Wii U. The user interface meanwhile has a Persona 4 quality to it, featuring lots of color and fancy menus. The interface extends to the tablet, which is incorporated into the gameplay as opposed to being just an afterthought. It also works as a smartphone screen of sorts, delivering text messages from other characters, with the telltale vibration that cell phone users know all too well. For the actual gameplay, part of your time will be spent traversing various locales within the urban area's confines. The city boasts a selection of various shops that sell regular and special items, as well as vending machines that serve as de facto inns by providing drinks that replenish your health and special arts bars. In between missions, you can also spend free time in the city meeting up with your crew and other NPCs to take up side missions. Rewards can range anywhere from items and money to new skills for your team members. The meat of the gameplay for Tokyo Mirage Sessions, however, lies in its dungeons and combat system, which gather inspiration from the Shin Megami Tensei series. As Mirage Masters, your crew have the ability to see and enter doorways to an alternate dimension known as the Idolosphere. I think I got that right, which is starting to encroach in the real world and causing disappearances among the citizenry. Being Mirage Masters also allow your characters to fuse with spiritual entities and gain their combat skills to fight foes. Itsuki, for example, becomes proficient with the sword when fusing with his Mirage Spirit Chrome. That would be the same Chrome from Fire Emblem Awakening, who sports a cool supernatural look in spirit form, and also changes Itsuki's outfit into a more elaborate guise when fused. Other Mirages include Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon's Shida and Kane, who respectively pair up with Tsubasa and Toma Akagi. The fusions involving Fire Emblem characters are one of the cooler aspects of the game, especially for fans of the Fire Emblem series. In addition to fusing, characters in Mirages can also gain strength by gathering power known as Performa from foes, allowing them to perform Unity rituals. At the top of the list is Carnage Unity, which is unlocked by each character by defeating a specific set of enemies and absorbing their essence, allowing you to create a new Carnage or weapon. You also have Radiant Unity, which bestows various skills such as beefed up stats or even the ability to teleport out of a dungeon. Crafting new weapons is important not just for strengthening your attacks, but for gaining new abilities as well. By mastering weapons, you either gain new skills or power up older ones, so you'll want to make sure you squeeze every inheritance ability from each weapon to round out your arsenal. Weapons and skills also come with their own type or element, adding a rock-paper-scissors mechanic to your turn-based battles. In addition to granting extra bite to your attacks, taking advantage of weaknesses also allows your allies to do automatic follow-up attacks known as sessions to help dispense enemies more quickly. This is especially important when facing multiple foes, including rare high-level groups that pack a wallop. One nice touch is that the game provides indicators when session skills are possible, requiring less memorization on your part. You can also stock special attacks that act as supers to help against a particularly tough foe. Bosses, for example, love to bring over minions that can perform session combos against you as well, so you'll want to pay attention to enemy lackeys. To further make things more interesting, dungeons also sprinkle in puzzles that must be solved to reach certain areas, as well as NPC side quests. Although the combat system is fun, the dungeons can feel grindy, especially when puzzles that block progression come into play. I literally spent hours on the first dungeon, for example, though part of that involves my obsessive-compulsive nature to take down every enemy I see and not run away. It doesn't help that the enemy encounter rate is on the high side, with foes showing up at a constant clip. On the plus side, you can at least see them, and with the exception of rare enemies, hit them with your weapon before battle to nab a first strike initiative. Just like with real life though, the text messages you get from other characters can be annoying when they arrive in bunches, especially when you're trying to clear a long dungeon and have to deal with the constant buzzing of the Wii U tablet. Stop texting me, you guys! Then again, maybe that's more of a me problem, as I hate text spamming on my actual phone. It's a nice interactive feature for sure, but the timing can be bad sometimes. If you like JRPGs with large expansive worlds, Tokyo Mirage Sessions' more confined areas might feel limiting, at least as far as the overworld map is concerned. Storytelling, meanwhile, ascribes to a certain anime style popular among Japanese otaku, but can be off-putting for folks who prefer a more traditional tale. Folks who like having an English dub for their games also might be disappointed by the Japanese-only voice track. However, if you're like me and can understand Japanese, or perhaps you don't but understand otaku culture, Tokyo Mirage Sessions will provide a lot more bang for your buck. My niece and I laughed out loud, for example, when the game's Utaloid, or I guess Vocaloid, Mirage, also known as Virtual Star Tiki, asks the protagonist to hunt down a person who uses the online handle "Tiki is my waifu" for a side mission. I practically chuckled every time she asked me if I found Tiki Yomipi in Japanese with a serious voice. Despite its issues, Tokyo Mirage Sessions does most things right. The fact that it's technically a new IP in a gaming world where sequels dominate makes me like it even more. Overall, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is the kind of wonderful surprise that you find in your stocking during Christmas morning. It's quirky for sure, but its mix of stellar protection values and a solid take on classic turn-based JRPG combat makes it a must-have for fans of the genre. Add much welcome nods to Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, and Fire Emblem, and you've got one of the best gaming surprises of the year so far. I just hope gamers give it a shot, as a sequel would certainly be good news for yours truly, especially given its less than ideal sales in Japan.